I want to show this here, anatomy of the state. So most of you, maybe if you missed it, we're just mentioning how Jack Dorsey, the CEO of Twitter, ever woke, tweeted out Murray Rothbard, anatomy of the state. Libertarians and anarcho-capitalists were all hooting and hollering and freaking out. And on page 6, which is, the opening of Anatomy of the State, which Jack Dorsey himself posted, the greatest danger to the state is independent intellectual criticism. My, oh my. Fine. It's very interesting that Jack Dorsey would tweet something like that out, considering Twitter actively tries to suppress intellectual criticism of the state. Maybe Jack, he's actually locked in a basement, and he's like, and they run everything, and he broke out, and he's all gaunt and frail, and like they're coming to bring his food, and the door opens, and they're like, here's your food, Dorsey. And then he shoves the guy out of the way, and he runs to the computer, and he hits Control-C, Control-V, and enemies say enter, and they're like, no, and they grab him, and they're dragging him back, and he's like, no, freedom. And
you can see the Matrix as he's being pulled back.
And they throw him back in the room. Don't you ever pull something like that again. And then, the other Twitter exec, he escaped from his cell and he tweeted out Rothbard. And then they were like, oh, can we delete it? No.
The next time he testifies in front of Congress, we'll have to watch as he blinks to see if he blinks SOS or something like that.
He's got like a brain chip. It's like a thing on his temple, and it like shorts out for a second, and he's like, I can think again. And he goes to the computer and he sends it, and then they're like, oh guys, you got to reboot Dorsey's mind control chip. Pew, and he goes,
would it be like the V chip from South Park?
Yeah. Yeah, so for the Rogan podcast, and he was talking about blockchain, and I think he's really naive. I think he doesn't know. He doesn't know what he's talking about. I think he's, to be completely honest, nice guy, a bit duplicitous, right place and right time. Twitter is not particularly complicated. He said, we discovered Twitter, we didn't invent Twitter, things like that. And when I was talking to him before we did the Rogan podcast, like literally like minutes before, he was saying how he really wanted blockchain-based social media. And he was like, that way, once it's there, it's like there forever. And I'm like, that sounds horrible. That sounds like the worst idea ever. Like, imagine you're 15, and you're like, I'm going to post a picture of my ass because I'm edgy and I got 10 followers and I don't care. And then you're 30 and you're like, I got 50,000 followers now and you're a sports commentator. And then they're like, couldn't help but notice in your immutable ledger, there's a picture of your ass. It's like, I know I can't it's in the blockchain. What am I supposed to do about it? It's there forever.
In theory, what that should mean is that we all kind of get the get out of jail free for doing dumb stuff. But what in practice it means is if you did dumb stuff that the elite don't approve of, you can get canceled at absolutely any point in time in your life. But if they're okay with the dumb stuff, you were part of an Antifa attack or something. Oh yeah, that's fine. We don't care. That's fine. You get a nice Reuters article.
You were once a noble activist fighting for justice. Tell me how that went. Well, I threw a bunch of bottles at people and then we went around smashing things. Oh wow.
Sounds like fun.
Sounds like you've accomplished a lot in your life. Mm-hmm. Yes, it was hard, but we burned down some bars.